Motoring 2011 on TSN is brought to you by Quaker State, real durable oil, and Michelin, a better way forward.
Times have changed, that's for sure, but Detroit is still the Motor City. Yes, this is still the place to be, the North American Auto Show. Over 5,000 journalists from 63 countries have traveled here because they know the who's who in the auto industry will be here. Well, with the exception of Nissan, Infiniti, Mitsubishi, and Suzuki. And maybe that's just as well because they're trying to pack everything into one day here at the Auto Show with about 24 unveilings over a 12-hour period. And we're also going to pack a lot into this program because later we're going to check out our top vehicles for 2011. Now, as for this show, well, last year the buzz was electric. What's the buzz this year? Well, let's find out.
Take a look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
The all-new.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's my pleasure to introduce the all-new 2012 model.
Well, this show is important for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, it's the first show of the year, worldwide.
40 miles per hour.
And it's the only place, quite frankly, where you're going to come and see all the major manufacturers converge along with their CEOs, along with all the major suppliers of the industry. And that's what makes the big difference.
This year, I think there's a little more optimism than the last time I was here. It was pretty dreadful the last time I was here. But this year, there's the company reps are more up, and everybody seems to be happier. But and again, crowding it into one day though means it's kind of the show has obviously gone down a little bit.
We're jumping ahead of the competition. We're jumping ahead.
Hey, I got it! Leapfrog!
The domestics, I don't think their swagger is back. They're more optimistic, I think, if you talk to them. But, I mean, there's none of the flash and crash that there used to be. And whether that'll ever come back, I don't know. I doubt it.
The 2012 Buick Verano.
Last year, the buzz was about electric and everything else. This year, that's carried on, but they're a little more realistic. They've got some plug-in hybrids, but they also have gasoline engines with them so that they can do more than their 25 kilometers. Hybrids, we're into third and fourth generations just in general. So we're not seeing performance as an issue, we're seeing fuel economy and practicality. We saw Chrysler start up Sunday preview days with concepts, and eventually that became a full day of the auto show of concepts. And their Prowler sort of set it off, which became a production car. They said they'd make 2,000 of them and sell them, and they did. But that set the tone for about 5 years. Unfortunately, we don't have that anymore.
This is the first time Porsche has been at the Detroit Auto Show for 4 years. We took a bit of a hiatus for a while, but we came back. We opened the show yesterday with this 918 RSR, which is a hybrid. What we're calling it is a racing laboratory. It's a test bed for all sorts of new technology that will show up not only on race cars, but maybe on road cars in the future as well. It's interesting, the last few years the show, because of the economic crisis in the US, has been a little bit of a downer, but this year everybody seems to have come back in a really big way. There's great energy here, and it still is the heart of the North American auto industry.
I don't think this particular show here in Detroit has the cachet that it once had. We used to call them the Big Three, and they sponsored this show quite heavily. Now they're just sort of the other three. They've had their financial troubles. We see manufacturers that aren't here. They're supporting other shows. So, no, I think Detroit is not as important as it once was.
We're here at the Detroit Auto Show looking at all the gorgeous new models. More later on Kenzie's Corner. And your name would be?
No test drive this week, rather we're going to take a look at the best of the best for 2011 and a little later on, Motoring's overall car of the year. This year has been particularly interesting from a number of different standpoints. The domestic manufacturers came back from the dead, the Koreans proved that they're not going away anytime soon, and for those with a lust for power, well, there were more 500 plus horsepower cars than ever before. And so do the categories and the winners. Small car under $20,000, Ford Fiesta, Hyundai Elantra and Mazda 2. This proved to be a very tough category that boiled down to a choice between the Ford Fiesta and Mazda 2. Both are extremely capable cars. However, in the end, the Ford Fiesta edged out the Mazda 2, and simply because it's going to have a greater effect on the entry-level marketplace. Small car over $20,000. The contenders, Chevrolet Cruze, Kia Forte hatchback and Nissan Juke. All three are very worthy contenders. In the end, it was Cruze versus Forte. I loved the Cruze because of the European influence to be found in every aspect. It is a capable car that sets a very high standard. The Kia hatchback is a great ride that bolsters Kia's reputation for producing dynamic yet affordable cars. The result? A well-earned tie. You split the hairs. Best new family car: Buick Regal, Hyundai Sonata and Volkswagen Jetta. This came down to a coin toss. Heads it's the Buick Regal, tails the Sonata. It's ahead, and so the Buick Regal gets our nod as the best new family car. It has plenty of power, great handling, and a cabin that's as classy as it is well conceived. It's a deserving winner that serves to point GM in the right direction. Hopefully. Luxury car: BMW 5 Series, Cadillac CTS, Mercedes-Benz E-Class. In the past, the winner would have been either of the German cars, the combination of power and panache being just too difficult to ignore. However, the CTS wins, and simply because it sets new standards. The mortal cars are great, the CTS-V is simply sublime, and world-class all the way. Money No Object supercar: Audi R8 V10 Spider, Mercedes-Benz SLS, Porsche 911S. Oh, to have the money to pick one for real. These three are world-class performers in every respect. The style is stunning and the power takes your breath away. I loved the SLS, but the gull-wing doors, they drove me crazy. That leaves the 911 and the R8 V10 Spider. Both boast a driving demeanor that's as happy on a racetrack as it is prowling suburbia. However, the fact the Spider stole my heart, well, it makes it a winner all the way. Best new sports performance car: Chevrolet Camaro ZL 585, Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, Subaru WRX STI. This proved to be the beasts against the beauty. What a fight. In a straight line drag, either of the pony cars wins hands down. However, neither managed to carve a corner with quite the same tenacity as the WRX STI. Throw in a top-notch all-wheel drive system and the Subaru is a clear winner in my book. Best new minivan: Honda Odyssey and Toyota Sienna. Both claim to be the next minivan, and both are very capable in their own right. However, the Odyssey wins, and simply because it manages to do everything equally well. It is a well-rounded people mover that sets new standards. Sport utility or crossover under $40,000: Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage, Mitsubishi RVR. I ruled out the Mitsu early on because of its powertrain. It is mediocre at very best. This leaves the Tucson and Sportage. While both are basically the same, the Sportage wins by virtue of its sexier exterior styling and its more refined interior. I also prefer the manner in which it handles an enthusiastic drive. Sport utility or crossover over $40,000: Ford Edge, Jeep Grand Cherokee, Kia Sorento. Talk about a no-brainer. The revamped Edge and Sorento are both very good vehicles, but neither can hold a candle to the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. If you want on-road civility and off-road ability, this SUV is as good as it gets. Best new green car: Honda CR-Z, Mercedes-Benz BlueTech Diesels, VW Jetta TDI. All three make a statement and all are worthy winners. However, the Jetta and its oh-so-sweet diesel TDI engine was just too strong for the others. It is affordable, frugal and a mighty fine family sedan, all wrapped up in an easy-to-live-with package. So there you have it, the best of the best for the class of 2011. Stick around, Bill's going to pick his top pickup truck, and later on, I'll announce Motoring's overall car of the year.
A vehicle that brings fun and personal expression back to a segment that, well, lost its cool back in the 1980s. It's called the van. Not the minivan, but the van.
Well, you know, a lot of the talk here at the Detroit Auto Show is about electric cars, hybrids, and so on. But let's not forget it has been a banner year for pickup trucks, with all three domestics releasing their heavy-duty models. In fact, in Canada, pickup sales are up 8%, and pickup trucks now hold a market share of over 54%, and that's an all-time high. And I know that will bring a smile to one Bill Gardner. Right, Bill?
Absolutely, Brad. But you know what? It's a double-edged sword for me, because as popular as pickup trucks are, it makes them more expensive, and they've kind of got a little bit sissified lately with the, the heated seats and the leather seats and DVD players and 9 yards of accessories that you don't need to do work Monday to Friday. And Monday to Friday, you use your pickup truck to make money and do your job and do your work, and Friday to Sunday, use it to haul your toys. Now, as much as I dislike cars and as much as I love pickup trucks, cars do have their place. I mean, there's all kinds of cars now that'll get 40 miles per gallon. There's some that'll get 50 plus miles per gallon. No pickup truck will do that. But if you consider tools of your trade to be a laptop and a BlackBerry, then you should be buying a car, okay? But if you're doing work and getting your hands dirty, well, you don't need me to tell you, you need a pickup truck. And we love our pickup trucks, but they're not for everybody. And let's face it, they're harder on gas, they're heavier, they're bigger, they're harder to park. So cars do have their place. But today we're down at the Toronto Boat Show, and we're at the BRP booth, what we consider the ultimate playground. And if you know what this piece is right here, this is the drawbar for your trailer hitch. This end here goes into the back of your pickup truck, and this end can connect to whatever you need to haul your toys. And all the toys are here at the Ultimate Playground. You name it, they've got it. BRP's an amazing Canadian success story, and they've got you covered on your toys.
Bombardier Recreational Products really is a great Canadian success story. Innovators, pioneers in development, first people to commercialize a snowmobile, the first people to bring the three-seater watercraft to the industry, jet boats, snowmobiles with really advanced technologies, ATVs with dynamic power steering, and of course the Spyder. We just continue to innovate and bring no-compromise products to the industry.
Well, how ironic that my favorite toy here at the Toronto Boat Show isn't a boat at all. It's this little mini off-road kind of pickup truck vehicle here at the BRP booth. It's called a Can-Am Commander. Comes in 800cc or 1000cc versions. The body is made of an ABS-like material, so you can rough it up and you're not going to hurt it. You can scratch it. The color's totally through this material. You can really have fun with this machine and not do any harm to it. It's got a full roll cage. It's got all kinds of accessories you can get for it. This particular model comes with a standard winch on the front. You can put up to 600 pounds of cargo in the box here. And to help you unload that cargo, it even acts like a little mini dump truck. It's got a couple of gas-assisted shocks to help you get your cargo out of there. It goes back down and locks easily. And we've even got lockable, secure, weatherproof storage underneath here. And we've got storage underneath the cargo bed as well. And one of the really neat things about the Commander is that this same drawbar that you can use in the back of your pickup truck goes right in the hitch on the back of the Commander, and you can tow up to 1,500 pounds with this vehicle as well. So you gotta like all the features here, and there's only one thing I need now, and that's my checkbook. Till next week, I'm Bill Gardner for Motoring 2011.
I've been trying to talk them out of doing it because I think they're going to crash. Because I know what JP's like, and he's just going to be completely insane behind the wheel.
Slow down through the turns a little. It's my only advice, really. You know, stop and take pee breaks every once in a while, or else you just piss your pants in a Porsche.
I can't wait to drive this car and drive as fast as I can. I don't know if we'll regret it or not. I think it's going to be an amazing experience one way or another, and hopefully we get through it unscathed.
That was deadly, like, that's wicked.
Anything else I didn't ask you? Yeah, no, I think they're going to crash, and I said that, so...
The Detroit Auto Show always starts with the announcement of the North American Car and Truck of the Year. And the winners this year reflected the two themes that are paramount in this year's show. First of all, 4 of the 6 finalists and both winners were domestic models. The domestic manufacturers really are back, and the critical thing is that some of the best North American models weren't even eligible this year. Of course, I'm talking about the new Chrysler 300. But the other trend, represented by the Chevy Volt, well, it's not even for sale in 2 of the 3 countries that make up North America, but never mind. It reflects the ongoing fascination with electrification in the automobile business. The interesting thing to me is that the only people who seem to be fascinated by electric cars are the manufacturers. The customers, they couldn't care less. 5% of people are buying hybrids and maybe 10% maximum ever. Nobody cares. Truck sales in Canada have never been higher. In fact, the only hybrid that ever actually made economic sense was the Chevy Silverado hybrid, because if you've got a vehicle that gets lousy fuel economy and you can improve it by 10%, you've really done something. But if you got a vehicle that gets 40 miles per gallon with a gasoline engine and gets maybe 45 miles per gallon with a hybrid, and it costs you $8,000 more money, that just doesn't make any sense. Now, there's one electric car here that does make a certain amount of sense. Volvo has an electric version of their C30. And what did they do with it? They crashed it into a wall. Now, to me, that's the only thing to do with an electric car. I'm Jim Kenzie.
Well, you've seen Graham give you all his segment winners for cars, SUVs, you name it, all those different categories. But let's face it, all that garbage is less than 50% of the Canadian market. Pickup trucks are over 50% of the market. So this is the only real segment that counts, right? At least for me. All the big 3, the Ford, Dodge, and GM trucks all have new heavy-duty trucks for 2011. And it's a really tough call because they're all really great trucks. Fantastic advancements in powertrain from all of the manufacturers. You're not going to go wrong, but you know what? When it comes right down to it, let's face it, most of these heavy-duty trucks are going to be sold with diesel engines. That's a prerequisite for a lot of guys. And the clear winner there this year and for many years has been Dodge with their Cummins engine. Proven reliability. You never hear anybody with a bad thing to say about a Cummins engine. They're just that darn good. Ford and GM have made some inroads, and they keep talking about how great the improvements are to their engines, and on paper they look great. But talk to guys in the real world that use them, and you get a little bit different story sometimes, especially when they're a couple of years old and you get into expensive repairs. So for the heavy-duty segment in diesels, it's Dodge. If you wanted a gas engine, and lots of guys prefer that for many good reasons, I'd go with the GM. Now we're going to see what Jim says for overall Car of the Year.
It doesn't feel right to be doing a Car of the Year selection when I'm not wearing my tux. But hey, times change, what can I tell you? You know, this year, it's really tough to pick one overall Car of the Year because there's a lot of very strong contenders, which means Graham and Brad, I can't really blame you if you get it wrong this year because, hey, it's a pretty close field. The Chevy Cruze, for example, a very important car for Chevrolet. Ford Fiesta, obviously a very strong car for Ford because it's in a new segment for them. I look at something like the Volkswagen TDI Jetta. Well, I'm a bit of a VW fan, as you probably know. But I'm always looking for a Car of the Year that kind of moves the game along, that really reestablishes standards in a particular segment. And for me this year, I got to go with Hyundai Sonata. Graham, over to you.
Well, worthy of consideration, Jim, but Motoring's Car of the Year for 2011 is the Kia Sportage. The latest Sportage is as far removed from the original as it's possible to get. It's got style inside and out, the engineering and technology along for the ride is first rate, it has a decent turn of speed and the handling is solid. It also earns the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's top crash test ratings. I know, it's not a car, but if you're shopping on a budget and you want safety, well, the Sportage has got that and so much more.
Well, congratulations to all our winners. Now, the car show is continuing here in Detroit. The consensus is that compared to last year, a lot more people are smiling this year. And if it's true that the auto industry reflects the general health of the economy, if they're smiling, maybe consumers are smiling too. And that's a good thing. Before we go, if you missed some of our Car of the Year winners, check it out at motoringtv.com. That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
I think really what this is about is perhaps Toyota trying to make a different impression, communicate more directly with media, with its customers, and just I think try to be more forthright about how it operates and what its intentions are in the future.
Motoring 2011 on TSN has been brought to you by Quaker State, Real Durable Oil, and Michelin, a better way forward.